Flying sharks, blood-sucking worms, killer cannibal seals, mind control viruses, lions, orcas, strangling octopuses, murder gulls that peck your eyes out. Baby fur seals are super freaking cute, but everything wants to kill them, and half of them will die before their first birthday. So in case you're reincarnated as a seal, here's how you survive. There are 8 species of fur seal around the world: Northern, Antarctic, Subantarctic, Cape, Australian, New Zealand, Juan Fernandez, and Galapagos. And all of them give birth in the summer, except the Galapagos fur seal, because summer there looks like this. About a week after giving birth, all these mother fur seals have sex and get pregnant again. The newborn pups then have exactly 1 year to learn how not to die before their mums kick them out. Fur seals live in colonies of 50 to 100,000 seals, so a pup's first job is to learn its mother's call. They begin this before they've even been born, and if they haven't learnt it within a week before mum goes off to feed, they may never find her again and starve to death. The second thing you need to learn as a baby seal is to avoid people. For centuries, humans have harvested seals by bashing them on the head with wooden clubs and spiked hammer hooks called hacker picks. In the 1950s and 1960s, millions of seal pups were killed this way or shot with guns. And seals are still hunted in 9 countries: Canada, Denmark, Russia, the United States, Namibia, Estonia, Norway, Finland, and Sweden. Fur seal pups are born with a fuzzy black coat of hair called lanugo, the same as human babies. This isn't waterproof, but after about 2 months, they get a beautiful new brown swimming coat that allows them to run into the water to escape from humans and other predators. Even on the remotest of beaches, there are always predators about. For instance, on the spookily named Skeleton Coast in Namibia, the world's largest colony of Cape fur seals gets attacked by jackals, brown hyenas, and desert lions at night. Fur seal pups sleep for 12 hours a day, and adults can only sleep with half their brain whilst at sea for days or even weeks at a time, keeping one eye open and one flipper paddling to avoid drowning. So when they return to the beach, they're exhausted. So lucky tip number 3 to survive as a fur seal is to huddle together. Joining groups like this helps pups keep an eye out for threats, and they don't need to outrun lions if they can outrun their friends. Fur seal pups form these gangs when they're 3 weeks old, and if a pup doesn't make friends in its first month, it's probably going to die, so it pays to be popular. When mother gets back, she can protect the pup from other threats, like these Namibian kelp gulls that peck the eyes out of fur seal pups, then disembowel them and eat their guts. Mother seals also feed their pups milk, between half a litre a day if they're in sunny Australia, and 3 litres a day in South Georgia, where the highest temperature is -3 degrees Celsius in summer. So as well as learning their mother's call, pups have got to keep smelling like their parents. If they use too much perfume or get contaminated by human or lion smell, Mum won't recognise them. But in Mum's milk and in the sand is the biggest seal killer of all, hookworms. In some colonies, almost every seal pup will get these parasites, which can drain half their blood, leaving them too weak to move, so they starve, get eaten, or become ill and die. The worms latch on to the seal pup's small intestines, where they mate and begin laying 10,000 eggs a day. These eggs then get pooped out onto the sand to infect all the seal's friends. Hookworms affect people too. Right now, about 500 million humans are infected by hookworms, particularly in poorer countries. We can treat them with worm-killing medicines, but seals have to rely on their immune systems. In warm ocean years, when there's less food about and seal mothers can't make as much milk to feed their pups, up to 70% of fur seal pups in some colonies die from hookworms. But in cold ocean years, when there's plenty of food and milk to drink, the healthy pups make hookworm-killing antibodies in their blood, and almost twice as many survive. So, seal survival strategy number 4 is to embrace the cold. In the Pacific, ocean currents switch from warm to cold every 2 to 7 years. In the Atlantic, they switch whenever they feel like it. So you need to choose the right year to be born. And you probably want to do it before climate change gets worse, because every 1 degree Celsius the ocean temperature rises, 10% more seal pups die from hookworms. There's also leptospirosis, morbilliviruses, and everyone's favourite, toxoplasmosis, the mind control parasite you get from your cat, all of which kill seal pups by suffocating them and shutting down their organs. But they're all less common in cold places, so you can choose between -3 degrees Celsius summers or bleeding lungs and a heart attack. Personally, I'm going for option 1. South Georgia, here I come. If you've survived the vampire worms and eye-pecking gulls for the first 2 months, you now need to learn to swim. Around most fur seal colonies are orcas, killer whales hiding in the breakers and surfing in on waves to ambush pups playing in the shallows. So the smarter pups use rock pools to practice paddling, playing, hunting and diving. That's top tip number 5. Pick the perfect pool. And in Kaikoura, on New Zealand's South Island, a bunch of fur seal pups have done just that. This is Ohau Waterfall, and each year, as winter approaches, New Zealand fur seal pups flock up a small forest stream to this deep, clear party pool with built-in bubbles. Back on the beach, as they grow though, fur seal pups begin to attract the attention of other, bigger seals. And survival secret number 6 you must learn is big seals equal bad news. New Zealand sea lions, twice the size of adult fur seals, hunt and eat fur seal pups in the shallows and on the beaches. They evolved from something like an ancient bear, and still have 4 large canine teeth that tear through fat and skin. In South Georgia, leopard seals, up to twice as large again, hunt fur seal pups, taking their first swims out to sea, hiding behind ice floes, then ambushing them from below. And giant elephant seals, 10 times their weight, rampage across the beaches, killing fur seal pups, sometimes accidentally, sometimes deliberately, and using them as chew toys. In South Africa, where male fur seals were already killing and eating fur seal pups that annoyed them, dozens of seals have even caught rabies, a virus that drives them mad, attacking humans and pups randomly. So, as a fur seal pup, you should be paranoid. And if you see a bigger seal, avoid. At 6 months old, it's about time you learned to hunt. No one's going to teach you, and if you don't succeed, your mother will stop feeding you anyway, and you'll starve, so it's best to get a head start. The problem is, to hunt, you need to head out to sea, and the sea, famously, is where sharks live. This is a great white, and it does this. There used to be 500 of them staking out a place called Seal Island in South Africa, where seals, unsurprisingly, live. But 10 years ago, a pair of killer whales called Port and Starboard found them camping there and proved they're bigger and tougher than them by killing them and eating their livers. So the great whites ran away. And now there's no more sharks for them to eat. These nasty killer whales are hunting seals. In Namibia, 7 gill sharks work together hunting in packs to surround and catch the Skeleton Coast's seal pups. And in the Farallon Islands off California, there are still great whites doing this. Luckily, there's a foolproof strategy to avoid all of them, and that's to get up late. Because all of these sharks hunt at night and in the early morning, so sleep in and you'll be fine. Fur seals eat about 2/3 fish, 1/3 octopus and squid. Fish are easy, but octopuses don't enjoy being eaten, as this dolphin, called Gilligan, found out when an octopus it had eaten used its tentacles to choke Gilligan from the inside. Like dolphins, fur seals don't chew their food, so to avoid ending up like Gilligan, they bring their octopus prey to the surface and shake and slap it about for several minutes to make sure it's well and truly dead and torn into pieces before they eat it. That's survival tip number 8. Shake before you swallow. This helps get out the octopus's ink, which stings if it gets into a seal's eyes and can cause temporary blindness and loss of smell. And it tenderizes the meat, which is why human fishermen still do it today. Finally, you've made it to 12 months old. Your mother's got a new, adorable pup, and it's time for your second molt, which means there's only one more piece of advice you need to survive. Be fat or fail. Every 12 months now, as an adult seal, you'll have to molt, shedding your fur and growing a new coat. If a seal doesn't molt, its old coat stops being waterproof. It gets super cold and picks up lots of diseases and parasites, it can't hunt, and it dies. So you need to molt. And for the molt to work, you need to spend a month on land. Since seals can't go on long hunting trips to feed with their coat half molted, they lose 10 to 20% of their body weight during this time. In humans, losing half that weight in a month is considered very dangerous. So if you're not a chubby seal to begin with, this could be a deadly diet. And even if you're amazingly lucky and survived to the age of 15 as a fur seal, your teeth will be so worn down that you'll struggle to hunt and eat. So the fatter you are then, the longer you'll have to live before you starve.